go.
On December 23, 2021, the Lundis store on Weatherby Road became the target of a robbery by 3 individuals. One of the gang members threatened a lone female staff member with violence to open the till. Meanwhile, a customer on the shop floor was held at bay by another robber wielding a large knife. Despite her attempt to activate the store's panic alarm, the employee was pushed aside, and one of the robbers forcefully opened the till.
Open the till! I said open it, bro! Open the till or you're gonna get hurt.
I'm
Fill that.
I'm doing.
No, say you.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Open it or I'm gonna hit you with it. Open it or I'm gonna hit you with it, believe me now.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'm not doing anything.
Tell her to open it or I'm gonna hit you.
I'm not doing anything.
Tell her.
Yeah.
Open it.
I'm not doing anything.
Open
I'm
it.
not doing anything.
Yeah, grab them. There you go, bro.
Yes, there we go.
There you go.
The customer, displaying courage, confronted the robbers, urging them to hurry up and leave, and even threatened to start throwing items at them. In a tense moment, he lifted a box of beer bottles over his head, ready to throw it at the assailants. He then shouted for them to leave and threw the box, chasing them out of the store with another heavy box in hand.
Stay there. Stay there. No one's gonna get hurt.
Make it quick and leave.
No one's gonna get hurt. Just stay there.
I'm feeling really nervous and I'm going to start picking
Stay
on
there.
it. It's good.
Yeah, but it's only gonna be able to get
No,
started.
I understand that.
You're playing with our life. Oi.
Start chopping
Oi,
it.
no. Stop. I'm gonna go. Get up.
Thank you, God. Thank you, yes. Thank you very much.
Despite their attempts to conceal their identities with masks, one of the robbers was recognized by police officers through his voice and walking. This identification led to the charging and subsequent sentencing of 2 members of the group. Jeffrey Chikosha, 25, received a 9-year sentence, and Brandon Jarrett, 23, was sentenced to 6 years and 9 months. This case disproved the offender's boastful claim of no face, no case due to their use of masks. In Streetsboro, Ohio, on July 17, 2019, a dramatic robbery took place at a Verizon store, triggering an urgent 911 call to the police.
911, where's your emergency?
Verizon next door is getting robbed.
Verizon's getting robbed, okay.
They had something like bags tied over their faces or something.
This is about as serious as it gets.
Surveillance footage revealed 4 individuals bursting into the store, one wielding a weapon as they quickly approached the store clerk. They forced the clerk to the back of the store, complying with their demands under threat.
We see 4 people rushing into the store, one after the other, the first one holding a and then we see duct tape, a tote bag, and even something that looks like a laundry basket.
So they run right to the back of the store and just confront the store clerk right away.
One robber points at the clerk's head and tells him to get down on the ground. And the clerk immediately complied. The other robber starts taping his hands behind his back.
They hit him a couple times. I believe they pistoled him one time, the handgun. They tied him up and they were just hitting him and asking him where the money was and how to get into the safe. The clerk is terrified. He honestly thought he was gonna get shot.
Despite tying him up and searching for valuables, their frustration mounted when they couldn't open the safe.
They're opening anything and everything in the back room of the store, and they're looking for whatever they can steal.
The clerk, lifted aggressively by his shirt, informed them of a 10-minute delay on the safe, increasing the robbers' frustration. Just as tension peaked, the police, led by K-9 officer Jason Hall, arrived.
By picking him up from the back of the shirt so that it's essentially choking his neck as they lift him up off the ground. That moment must have been absolutely terrifying.
The clerk was trying to explain to them that the safe will not just open right away. There's safety measures in place in the event that a store is robbed.
There's a 10-minute delay, so they have to wait for it to open. and they're just getting more frustrated. I ended up being the first officer there, so I just announced Streetsboro Police.
Within a couple minutes, we had 3 police officers on scene at that location.
When I was in the doorway, I couldn't see anything in the back. We didn't know how many people were back there, and we didn't know exactly what was going on.
2 of the robbers surrendered immediately, while Officer Hall found another hiding under a desk and the 4th in a closet.
Streetsboro Police K9 unit, I'll send the dog and you'll come out! Get out here now!
This is your final warning. I'm sending my dog, and you will be.
Come on out!
The robbers definitely heard Officer Hall.
They were in a panic.
They're looking for a back door, and there is no back door. They're not in control of that building anymore. They are scrambling. They're running around from storage area to bathroom, looking back and forth, back and forth.
He starts running towards me. He had the fear of God in his eyes. As he gets on his knees, I realize that his hands are tied behind his back.
I have an employee bound up. Come on outside. Come outside. Please, they're in the back, please.
The moment the clerk took the opportunity to run out of the store, the robbers really lost their control of the situation. Checkmate. It's over for them.
They're just kind of walking towards us like zombies. We can't see any emotion on them. You can't really tell from their body what's going on. It's a very dangerous moment. Any sudden movement from them, we'd be forced to deal with it.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Anyone else in there?
It would not say anything to us.
The whole time, we are thinking, who else is here? How many are there? Are they gonna come for us? Are they just giving up? We don't know.
The apprehended suspects, all teenagers, faced legal consequences for their actions. 2 17-year-olds received prison sentences, and the 16-year-olds were placed in the Ohio Youth Detention Center, bringing an end to a tense and dangerous situation. A man decided to rob a KFC during the day. He intimidated the staff and made a female employee open the cash register. After grabbing the cash, he quickly fled the scene.
Money in the cash register right now. I'm serious.
Okay, I'm getting it.
No, not. I want to see everyone right here. Hey, get your ass out here. Everything. So I. Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys have a good day. Yeah. Oh my God. Auto probably. What did I tell you?
Interestingly, he didn't seem concerned about the surveillance cameras, as he didn't take any measures to hide his identity. This oversight made it easy for the authorities to identify and arrest him, resulting in his incarceration. Her courageous act deserves praise for standing up and confronting the thief directly. Deon Killingback, a 35-year-old man, was entrusted to watch over his friend's toddlers, aged 2 and 3, while she went shopping. However, the children were discovered wandering in a busy Walmart parking lot and were taken in by the store's staff. When deputies arrived, they found the children and later located Killingback, who was found with a straw in his lap upon waking up.
They went with Walmart staff after they ran in a parking lot in nothing but a diaper, while you were sleeping at the steering wheel, right? So for now, put your hands behind your back.
Tests later confirmed the straw contained oxycodone and fentanyl. As a result, Killingback was arrested. A man approached the counter to pay for some items, but a store employee, having spotted him stealing on camera, confronted him. Upon checking the man's pockets, the employee discovered the stolen item and responded by hitting him.
You need cash back? Where's the other one? Sorry? Where is the other one? Other one? There was 2 in your hand. Yeah, no, I put one back. Where do you put back? It's there. Let me check. No, it's in your pocket.
It appears the thief had forgotten about the store's surveillance cameras and assumed his actions would go unnoticed, but karma caught up with him instantly. In Manchester, a big city in the north of England famous for its soccer, a tough crime group led by a known criminal, Gareth Robinson, started causing major trouble. Gareth, along with Peter Clark and Ryan Stewart, formed a gang of 13 men who were known for their violent and daring crimes. They made headlines in October 2018 when they broke into a shopping center in Oldham, close to Manchester, using sledgehammers and axes to smash their way into stores and steal valuables. They were so bold that they even attacked a police car with sledgehammers when it tried to stop one of their getaway cars with stolen plates. They wore masks, like the one from the Scream movie, and didn't hesitate to confront anyone who got in their way, including police, civilians, and business owners. In an audacious move, the gang broke into a car dealership, opened the lockbox for the keys, and stole 20 new cars all at once. Detective Chief Inspector James Faulkner from the Greater Manchester Police will explain how the police handled the situation.
So the operation started in July of 2018 and ended in May 2019, which is when we made the first arrests. The scale was huge. It was over 120 offences were reinvestigated by the team at Oldham, and those covered 5 different force areas across the north generally. And they included offences of personal robbery, business robbery and aggravated burglary, dwelling and commercials. So the scale was massive. The value of the goods stolen amassed to over £1.5 million, and the damage caused by this team was over £230,000. So it was a really big job. So the first offence that came to our notice was the incident at the Spindle shopping centre in Oldham. And from that incident, we had a rough idea who may be capable of doing that type of offence. And we built a case from there, looking at those individuals and the people that are now convicted of these offences. And we built a case with traditional policing tactics, both covert and overt, but we used a number of options that were open to us to pinpoint their locations at the time of the offences occurring. And then eventually we were at the point where we could go and arrest these people. The message to offenders thinking of committing similar types of crime is simply don't bother. You're putting your life and others at risk, and police officers and security personnel at risk. And the rewards aren't that great. And these convictions show that GMP do investigate and do take seriously the offence of burglary and robbery. And we are committed to putting like this behind bars, which is where they belong.
The entire city must be relieved now that these criminals have been caught and the police have stopped their series of crimes. A group of men caused ATM explosions across Greater Manchester, Yorkshire, North Wales, and Cheshire. They targeted the machines early in the morning, causing £102,000 in damage, mainly to co-op stores. The gang used a caravan to Golden Sands Holiday Resort as their base to avoid police detection. They mingled with families at the resort, hiding their criminal plans. Armed with tools like machetes and axes, they broke into ATMs by filling them with gas to cause explosions. Greater Manchester Police's Operation Cast led to their capture after a spike in ATM attacks. The gang was organized, using stolen cars for their raids and causing significant community harm. They were caught after police traced them through CCTV and mobile phone data, leading to their arrest in February 2019.
Okay, the 5 men sentenced here today, a brazen group of criminals whose greed and arrogance has showed no bounds and continue to commit offences across the country. The scale of the operation was considerable. They committed burglaries in several places across Greater Manchester, as well as in areas across Cheshire, Yorkshire and North Wales. The men chose to use explosives to carry out the crimes, which goes to show their blatant disregard for the safety of the others in their pursuit of illicit gains. The severity of the offences should not be underestimated, and I want to stress the impact these crimes have on our communities. Their actions cause substantial damage to business premises, and significant inconvenience for business owners and the public, who often depend on the businesses and cash machines to make an honest living and go about their daily lives. I hope today's result sends out a clear message to organised crime groups that their actions will not be tolerated in such offending within our communities, and we'll do everything within our power to bring criminals to justice and make Greater Manchester a safer place. We will continue to work with our partners as well as specialists within the industry to disrupt organised crime groups and put a stop to this type of offending. I'd also like to take this opportunity to stress how proud I am of the officers who've been involved in securing this result, including the dedicated teams within Greater Manchester's Serious Crime Division. They've played a vital role in what was a painstaking and complex investigation which has been taking an audacious group of offenders off our streets for a considerable period of time. We are absolutely committed to making Greater Manchester a better place and a safer place, and will continue to do everything possible to ensure criminals of this nature.
They caused 15 ATM explosions, stealing £429,000 between March 2018 and February 2019, but only £57,000 was recovered. Collectively, they received over 50 years in prison, highlighting the dangerous and organized nature of their crimes. On Friday, the 13th of 2020, a shocking incident occurred when CCTV captured a group of men breaking into an Italian jewelry store on High Street Passage in Ely, Cambridgeshire, and stealing jewelry valued at about £100,000. The break-in, which happened around 2:50 a.m., was discovered by police upon their arrival. The CCTV footage revealed one man breaking the door open, followed by 3 others wearing masks, hoods, and gloves, all armed with crowbars and carrying large bags. They quickly spread out within the store, smashing display cases and filling their bags with rings and watches worth around £100,000 before fleeing the scene. The store owner noted the robbers' preparation, including wearing headphones and face coverings to counteract the store's high-pitched and fog alarm systems. Interestingly, only the gold and diamond items were targeted, leaving silver goods untouched. The police have released the CCTV footage in hopes of making arrests, as no one has been apprehended yet. 2 individuals armed with sledgehammers stormed into the Heist jewelry store in Santa Monica at 2:35 p.m., aiming to smash the display cases and rob the place. However, the store owner bravely confronted them, managing to snatch the bags meant for the loot, and forcefully ejected the would-be robbers from his premises.
Grabbed the hammer, the second guy did, slammed him in the back while my uncle pushed both of them out. It could have been awful. We're lucky and grateful for how it transpired and that he's not dangerously hurt. And he's had enough of it, and we've heard so many stories of guys just coming in, taking whatever they want and never getting caught. So he just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Sebastian is usually in the store to help, but this time he wasn't. Despite sustaining minor injuries, his uncle, who was involved in the altercation, believes it was worth it to stand up to the thieves, who have been a persistent problem in the area, even driving one jeweler to close shop.
They look like a bunch of rookies. They just kind of ran in, weren't thinking about it, head down, not knowing frickin' Thor was the store owner. They're pretty disgusting, pretty awful people. They should get their work somewhere else instead of trying to rob people who work hard for their money. The irony in the name, don't heist us, you'll get heisted.
The quick response from the police resulted in the immediate apprehension of all 4 suspects involved in the attempted robbery, including the 2 who entered the store and their accomplices waiting in the getaway vehicle. They are now facing serious legal consequences. Among the arrested, 1 was an adult, and the other 3 were minors. A man broke into a convenience store in Milton Keynes during the night, creating a mess inside. He first grabbed the cash register, then moved on to the tobacco section, stuffing his bag with products before fleeing. However, his escape was short-lived as the store's security cameras clearly captured his face. This evidence aided the police in quickly tracking him down. He has since been arrested and is now facing significant legal charges. This guy spent a lot of time checking out aftershave, catching the eye of undercover store employees. They watched him closely and waited until he left the store without paying to ensure there was no doubt about his intention to steal. After he exited, they contacted the police to confront him with some very awkward questions. The police apprehend his brother and take him in for interrogation.
We've got reason to believe that you've walked out of Myers without paying for some items.
I haven't got nothing.
Are you sure you want to empty your pockets for us?
We've got one perfume.
Yeah, you got one perfume?
I brought it to David Jones.
You bought it? You got the receipt for it, or?
Yeah.
Or have you nicked it?
I have.
We've got you on the cameras, mate. Yeah, right, mate. So you're under arrest at the moment?
Yeah.
Just the one item today?
No, I've got a couple, mate.
All right,
it's just embarrassing getting pinned.
Yeah, no dramas, that's fine. You been in trouble with police before?
Yeah.
No dramas. You on bail or anything?
No.
All right, no worries. No warrants or anything?
No.
Just through here.
I don't know of anyone.
However, when the suspects become aggressive, the officers resort to using pepper spray to control the situation. Despite his claims, the police discovered a significant amount of stolen goods.
Where's your brother? Hey, you up there? Where is he?
Come over here, mate.
Come over here!
Yeah,
all right.
Get in there.
What? No, you ran. Come on. Have a look at the cameras. Have a look at the cameras. I'll be calm, right?
And then if you sort it out.
All right. I'm taking nothing, all right?
Like it. I think there's 6 maybe bottles of perfume that's come out of that bag as well that are just being scanned to see the value, and the brother has got 6 or 8 bottles of perfume as well.
That's $500 worth there.
538.
538.
Yes, correct. Yeah, he made admissions to me before that he went and pinched these things to go and buy, and he's got a $200 a day habit on ice. But you've got to be really careful with these guys because on ice they snap pretty quickly. So exactly, yeah.
Now, do these usually fit on you?
No, not normally. For the camera, you rat.
Yeah, just turn that way. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
What the are you doing here?
Don't worry about them. They're here just following
This
us.
the so? Come on, boys. Me, mate.
The brothers are brought to the police station for questioning. Following the interviews, one of them is charged with stealing goods valued at over $1,500. At around 11 a.m., a young girl wearing an orange top repeatedly walked by Pure Gold Traders in Sydney, Australia, before going inside. The staff let her in through a security door, and a masked man followed her, but hesitated at a second security door, went outside in a panic, and then called for another masked man with a hammer and backpacks. They tried unsuccessfully to break through the second door and the reinforced glass. Mohammed Makbul, the 51-year-old owner of the store, confronted the robbers, asking them to leave. When they refused, he defended the store with a 5-iron golf club, which broke during the fight.
I just tried to hit him in his arms, and after then I hit him his knife, and I realized if I hit him in head, he will. Of course, I feel very bad because that's my own jewelry. Yeah, how somebody can take it in?
He has no right to it, does he?
Yeah, he has no right. So that's why I'm trying to fight with him.
Nonetheless, the robbers stole 2 racks of jewelry, nearly a kilogram of gold worth about $60,000. Char, the store's co-owner, voiced concerns over the ongoing security risks to their business.
For us, we try our best to, protect our business. We have the cameras from outside, from inside, and the double door.
My heart goes out to these people because it's a very traumatic thing that's happened to them. Never chase them, never hit them, never incite them in any way. With robbery, things can be replaced. You can't.
The police quickly arrived, arresting one suspect nearby, while the girl, who seemed not to be involved, was released without charges. The search is ongoing for the second robber. On October 7th, 2022, Lee Mellinger entered the MK Food and Wine store, walked up to the counter, and brandished a knife at an employee. He demanded money while threatening the staff member. In a bold move, the employee refused Mellinger's demands and instructed him to leave. Undeterred, Mellinger went behind the counter and fled with just 20 pounds from the cash register. The employee assisted the police in their investigation, leading to Mellinger's arrest on October 25th. He was charged on the same day and has since been sentenced to 8.5 years in prison. In the UK, an individual targeted a convenience store at night, immediately going to the counter. He brandished a knife at the employee, stole the cash register, and decided to leave, only to quickly return for cigarettes. After securing what he came for, he escaped.
Open it, yeah? Move. Move. All of this, yeah? Cigarette. Now. Cigarette. Where's cigarette?
Okay, cigarette.
Where's the rest cigarette? Cigarette. Cigarette.
Yeah, no, no,
now.
no. Not cigarette here.
You say? You say?
Not cigarette.
What do you mean no cigarette? Who's got a cigarette? How are you talking shit? There you go. Who? Choose. Yeah. Yeah.
Despite the employee's quick action in calling the police, the thief managed to evade capture. People engaging in such acts should seriously consider finding legitimate employment instead of taking what others have worked hard to earn. In London, during broad daylight, a band of thieves wearing helmets to hide their faces attempted to steal motorcycles. Unfazed by being filmed, they persisted in their efforts until a courageous individual intervened, attempting to stop them. Despite the brave attempt, the thieves managed to escape.
Alright, bunch of thieves. Zaza, wait. Go forward. Rob. Go forward. What's the number plate? Please number plate.
What you did?
What's the number plate?
He got number plate. Zaza, go. Move forward.
Alright, if he wants to come, I'm gonna move on.
Zaza, push it. What? Mans. I got you bloody thief. Look, police behind ya. I block them up. Bloody thieves, look at them. Outside the loom. I don't even know. Backchurch Lane. Outside the loan. A robbery in progress.
E1, yes. Is it E1 or EC3 or what?
E1.
E1, Commercial Road, Backchurch Lane.
Two guys are stealing ped now, live.
They're stealing the motorbikes right now with masks up and balaclava, axes and everything.
And hammers.
Yeah.
Where the hell are the police, man? These guys are brave, boy. Damn.
There's about 10 cars.
Huh? They're still stealing it.
Motorbikes, yeah. They've got axes and hammers with them as well.
I can't get a clear picture of their face. There's no number plate on their ped. Go. Can you see it? Can you get the reg?
No point, it will be stolen scooter. That's what they do. There's no point filming it, you need to call police, but that's the thing, by the time they come, that's the problem nowadays.
No, your man stopped now on purpose so they can't move.
If you would have some 4-foot ledge and my leg would be okay, I just leave them cunts.
Watch yourself now. Ring the police. There's some scumbags, aren't there?
Yeah.
Do you reckon they're robbing her?
Yes, it is. Yes. Look, officially in 2016 was average 22 bikes a day in London alone being stolen.
Look. Oh!
It's noteworthy that London ranks 9th among major UK cities in terms of motorcycle theft rates per capita. A team of thieves targeted a store in Halifax, UK, by cutting the lock and then using their car to push open the door. After gaining entry, they stole electronic goods, making away with high-value items. This incident marks the second time the store has been hit by burglars. Despite efforts to track them down, the culprits are still on the loose, with police actively searching for the group. Early one morning, a U-Haul truck and a black Mercedes pulled up at the Nighthawk Monitoring Motorsports dealership in Oklahoma. Nighthawk agents noticed the vehicles entering the parking lot and promptly notified the local sheriff's office. The culprits, donned in hoodies and gloves, with the Mercedes' license plate concealed, broke into the dealership. One shattered the glass door to gain entry, while the others opened the door wider to steal the dirt bikes nearest to the entrance. In just 3 minutes, they loaded 8 dirt bikes into the U-Haul and fled. However, law enforcement quickly caught up with them on the highway, initiating a lengthy chase across several counties that lasted about an hour before the vehicles were stopped. 3 out of 4 suspects were caught following a brief pursuit, while the 4th was still at large, according to the latest police report. Thankfully, all 8 dirt bikes and the stolen U-Haul truck were recovered. 3 teenagers walked into a store one afternoon, lingering for a bit, as if they intended to buy something. However, as they started to leave, one of them jumped over the counter and grabbed some cigarettes, tossing them to his accomplices before they all fled with the stolen goods. An employee tried to chase them down but couldn't catch up, and the teens managed to get away. The police are now searching for these teenagers to hold them accountable for their actions. In Castle Vale, Birmingham, a robbery attempt at a store took a turn when the owner, Salaya Vasanthan, decided to defend his store with just a broom handle. Faced with his bravery, the 3 robbers, armed with hunting knives, were scared off and fled on their bikes. The police suspect that these same 3 individuals are behind a carjacking and a raid on a newsagent as well. A trio pulled up to a restaurant in a car. One of them got out, shattered the glass door, and went for the TV mounted on the wall. He tried to yank it off without even turning it off, thinking it would be a quick snatch and run. However, the TV was more stubborn than expected and wouldn't budge. When another accomplice tried to help, he first walked into the door he thought was open and then slipped on the shattered glass before reaching the TV. Together, they struggled until the TV finally came off the wall, but in their brief moment of triumph, the TV slipped from their grasp and crashed to the ground, apparently too heavy for them to handle. Realizing their efforts were futile, they hastily left the scene. After a few more awkward moments, they got back into their car and made their escape, marking it as one of the most bungled and disorderly robberies. 2 robbers armed with knives and a machete stormed into a service station, intimidating the employee and making off with money and cigarettes. This frightening incident, thought to be connected to another robbery, happened at around 8:40 p.m. in a service station in Mackenzie, southeast Brisbane, where the machete was also used. The culprits' faces were clearly recorded on surveillance footage, leading to their arrest by the police. On December 7th, at 9 p.m., 2 daring individuals stormed into a supermarket on Manchester Road in Astley, wielding a weapon and a hammer. They forced 2 employees into surrendering a substantial amount of cigarettes and money, which they then packed into a duvet cover and took off. At 5 p.m., someone in a mask and a pink rabbit costume entered a store in North Hamilton. They threatened a worker with a weapon and fled with some cash. The Spokane police are on the lookout for this individual, hoping someone might recognize the costume or mask and identify the suspect. Let's hope they catch this idiot soon. A man was in a Chinese takeout restaurant trying to pay for his food when 2 men snuck up on him from behind. One tried to grab his wallet and started attacking him, while the other swiped the money from the counter. Eventually, they managed to take his wallet, which contained his ID, bank cards, and $310, and then they ran away. The police are still on the hunt for these attackers. Back in November 2018, this trio hit Piggy's Kitchen and Bar, managing to take $450 in tips that were meant for the servers who had worked throughout the weekend. It's quite sad to think they just snuck in and took the hard-earned money of these workers. And to add insult to injury, they left behind $2,000 worth of damage. After reviewing the footage, the police started to investigate if these were the same guys responsible for a similar burglary at a pizzeria the previous week. It's almost funny when you compare it to other crimes where thieves are a bit more brazen, like stuffing laptops under their clothes in broad daylight. And here you have 3 adults crawling around like worms. A guy walked into a store to make a purchase, and while paying, he put his iPhone 14 on the counter, but forgot it when he left. Right after he left, another customer came in, noticed the phone, and quickly took it when no one was looking. A few minutes later, he left the store with the phone. However, he didn't realize how easy it would be to get caught.
He forgot his iPhone 14 on the counter. iPhone 14. Mother, iPhone 14. He just stole it. Ooh. Yeah, make sure no one See you. Grandpa, put the phone back.
The police were able to track him down quickly and get the stolen phone back. In a bizarre turn of events captured on surveillance at a Mulberry convenience store, 49-year-old Gabriel Tillman made a clumsy attempt to stealthily take a Pepsi without paying. The store clerk, quick on their feet, remotely locked the door, effectively trapping Tillman inside. Panic set in, and Tillman tried to smash his way out, unsuccessfully. All the while, the clerk, monitoring the situation via security cameras and having already alerted the police, decided against letting the chaos continue and unlocked the door. Surprisingly, Tillman casually walked out with the Pepsi as if nothing had happened. Tillman, seemingly on a single-minded quest for that bottle of Pepsi, ultimately faced arrest for theft and criminal mischief. It really makes you wonder, was that soda really worth the trouble? On the night of November 12, 2018, around 8 p.m., a robbery took place at a co-op store on Ruley Moore Road. 3 guys in their 20s, dressed in black sportswear and black balaclavas, came into the store with what seemed to be a screwdriver. They jumped over the counter, forced open the cash registers, and stuffed the cigarettes from the display into a white duvet cover. They also threatened the store workers while doing this. After grabbing what they could, they quickly left the scene in a white hatchback car. Thankfully, none of the store employees were hurt. The investigation is ongoing, with authorities actively pursuing leads to apprehend the perpetrators. Around 5:30 p.m., a robbery occurred with 2 men in masks smashing their way into the store. One of them had a machete and the other one had a long baton. They scared the staff and asked for money, but they didn't manage to take anything because the alarm went off. Luckily, nobody got hurt, but the staff was understandably shaken. The robbers got away in a silver Vauxhall Mariva, but the car was found later, left on Legg Street. Police are on the hunt for these crooks to bring them to justice. In broad daylight in Northampton, 3 people went after a post office. They threatened Bipin Patel, the shopkeeper, with a weapon, but he wasn't about to hand over his money easily. When Patel hit a security alarm, the 3 thieves in balaclavas took off, and he didn't just let them go. The 54-year-old chased them down the street from his post office in Ecton Brook, Northampton, until he lost sight of them near a residential home. It's kind of funny how these supposed tough criminals got chased away by just one guy. On the night of December 13th, 2018, right before 7:25 p.m., a co-op on Grosvenor Street in Castleton was hit by 4 people wearing masks, one of them carrying an axe. They stormed in, scared the staff, and told them to stay put. Then, they emptied the contents of the cigarette kiosk into a blue wheelie bin. After the heist, they took off in a red Peugeot 206. It's thought that these guys are between their mid-teens and early 20s. Police are still on the case, asking for help from anyone who knows something to catch these guys. A group broke into a Santander in Kentish Town, London, by forcing the door open. Inside, they threatened the security guards with knives and other weapons, knocking one guard down and slamming the door on another's face. Once inside, they stole thousands of pounds in cash. This incident was part of a spree of 15 crimes across North London, through which the thieves stole about £240,000 in total. They've since been caught and sentenced to nearly 50 years in prison, combined for this and a series of similar robberies. two teenagers burst into a co-op store in Plymouth, brandishing large knives at the staff, and managed to flee with some cash in under a minute. However, their freedom was short-lived, as they were soon apprehended and sentenced to 4 years in prison. It's a relief to see these young individuals being held accountable for their actions. Hopefully, this serves as a stern lesson for them. A man in Townsville, Queensland, used a stolen truck to break into a store by smashing the glass door with a paving slab, earning him the title of Australia's dumbest criminal. He attempted to steal an ATM by attaching a chain from his vehicle to the machine. However, he didn't secure the chain properly and drove off, mistakenly thinking the ATM would follow. After the chain broke during his first attempt, he tried to fix it for a second go, but that failed too. Frustrated, he eventually left without the ATM, taking only the broken chain and the stolen truck, which he abandoned halfway home in the woods, a common tactic among robbers. Two guys casually entered a store and stood around, but it soon became obvious what they were up to when one of them suddenly ran off with an item. Following his lead, the second guy also grabbed something and bolted. They managed to slip away without drawing attention. That's some nerve, isn't it? Two armed robbers hit a Marks & Spencer store in North London, corralling the staff into a part of the food hall. One of the robbers, armed with a knife, used cable ties to restrain the employees. Then, the other masked robber compelled a staff member to unlock the tills, enabling them to take £200 from the store before making their escape. It seems like they went through a lot of effort for such a small sum of money. In London, a guy attempted to swipe a high-end mountain bike from a bicycle shop, thinking the place was deserted. He sneaked in and eyed a particularly fancy bike worth a lot of money, deciding it was the perfect item to lift. However, his plan quickly fell apart when he couldn't get the bike out swiftly enough, and a mechanic named Billy Dye, who had been observing the would-be thief through CCTV from behind a wall, caught him in the act. Unaware of Billy's presence, the thief tried to dash out with the bike but was promptly intercepted by Billy. The thief ended up abandoning the bike and fleeing empty-handed. Ironically, Billy mentioned that the bike in question didn't have pedals and was fitted with flat tires, meaning the thief wouldn't have gotten far even if he had succeeded in his theft. A man entered a store acting very confidently. He looked around for a bit before quickly putting something into his pants. The person at the counter noticed the man was walking oddly, but didn't take action. The man then left the store with the item still in his pants, walking strangely. Although he was obviously seen stealing on video, he hasn't been caught yet. A man walked into a store, grabbed 2 items, and went up to the counter as if he was going to pay for them. He then distracted the cashier, and when the cashier was busy with his cell phone, quickly took an item from the counter and hid it in his pants. A few minutes later, he walked out of the store without actually buying anything. The quickness with which he managed to steal the item is notably slick. This robbery video tops the charts for being both wildly chaotic and unexpectedly funny. In this case, the store didn't need any help identifying the thief because they caught him in the act. It's baffling to think what was going through the thief's mind when he decided to snatch a laptop. He grabbed it and made a run for it, but was foiled by the wired mouse still attached, leading to his downfall, literally. The man tumbled to the floor, laptop in tow. Out of nowhere, an attendant leaps into action, tackling him to the ground with impressive agility. After an apprehension like this, these two women involved surely merit recognition, perhaps even a bonus, for their proactive stance. On the evening of the 24th of February, around 7:15 p.m., two individuals wielding crowbars intimidated employees at the co-op on High Street in Linton, compelling them to unlock the cash registers and safe. The assailants made off with approximately £8,000 from the safe, in addition to the cash register contents. In a related incident occurring 2 days earlier, another duo, similarly armed with crowbars and donning balaclavas, invaded the one-stop shop located on High Street in Sutton around 8:45 p.m. They forced the staff to hand over cash from the registers, escaping with around £1,000 and several packets of cigarettes. Despite the availability of surveillance footage from both locations, the police have yet to apprehend the suspects, who remain at large. This guy was loitering outside a mini-mart at the local stop, and soon it became clear why. A woman came out, barely noticing him. As she walked to her car, he quickly followed her. Right as she tried to get into her car, he blocked her, snatched her purse and phone, and took off. The whole thing happened in a blink of an eye. Fortunately, the police were patrolling nearby and managed to catch him before he could get far. A man from China, later identified as Mr. Wang, bizarrely attempted to get cash from ATMs by inserting his card and then pouring a liquid into the machines. He tried this method at 3 different ATMs across 2 banks, believing somehow it would cause them to dispense money. It's hard to imagine where he got such an idea. Caught on the security cameras of all 3 banks, an investigation quickly ensued, leading to Mr. Wang's arrest. Beyond the apparent desperation or lack of understanding that prompted his actions, Mr. Wang found himself in even deeper trouble. The damage he caused to the 3 ATMs totaled $22,000, a sum far beyond what he likely could afford. His misguided experiment not only failed spectacularly, but also landed him in a situation that might be one of his biggest regrets. From Mr. Wang's misadventure, there's a clear lesson. Pouring liquid into an ATM is not only futile, but can lead to significant legal and financial consequences. In the early hours of January 17, 2023, 2 men broke into Ben's Market 76 gas station on Blaine Road at about 4:30 a.m. with the aim of raiding an ATM inside. They were on a mission to get the cash out and wanted to do it as quickly as they could. An interesting twist to their plan was their getaway vehicle, a red Jeep, which was reported stolen. They came prepared with a yellow tow strap, which they used in an attempt to yank the ATM out of the convenience store. The duo worked together. One man, wearing orange, hooked one end of the strap to the gas station's front doors, while the other, in the car, pulled them open. It was a display of effective, albeit misguided, teamwork. The man in orange seemed to do the heavy lifting, rushing into the station to haul the ATM out as his accomplice drove the car back and forth, trying to break open the ATM. Unfortunately for them, their attempts to access the cash were unsuccessful. After about 5 minutes of persistent but futile effort, they realized their plan wasn't going to work and fled in the stolen Jeep, which was later found abandoned in the woods. There's this funny clip of a guy in Russia who thought it'd be smart to swipe a whole cone of diner kebab meat. Turns out, it wasn't such a great move. The video shows him going up to the kebab stand and quickly grabbing the cone of meat. But the moment he took it, he realized his mistake. He hadn't thought about how hot the meat would be. Watching it is pretty amusing, yet it's also a reminder that stealing isn't just wrong. It can also backfire in unexpected ways, like ending up with a burnt hand from hot kebab meat. A guy strolled into a store, casually looking at sunglasses. He picked up a pair of blue Audi sunglasses and slipped them into his pocket. Then, he walked around the store a bit more, went up to the counter pretending he was going to pay, but sneaked out without actually buying them. However, the store employees didn't let him get away with it. One of them caught up with him outside and retrieved the sunglasses. His scheme definitely didn't go as planned, maybe forgetting that cameras were all over the place watching him. Two guys hit a bank in Wigan, storming in and scaring both the workers and customers. In just a short time, they made off with a huge amount of cash. Colin Smith, one of the guys involved, got caught and sent to jail for his role in the heist. The getaway driver and the other guy involved haven't been caught yet. On December 22nd, a man dressed entirely in black with his face covered burst into the KFC on Trent at 3000 West Broward County. Realizing the danger, customers quickly dispersed. The robber compelled one employee to open a cash register while he moved to the drive-thru area, demanding another employee to do the same. The thief emptied the cash register, and as the car at the drive-thru departed, he proceeded to forcefully remove 2 more registers, successfully looting one and fleeing with the other. The search for the suspect is ongoing, with police efforts to apprehend him continuing. 4 individuals targeted the David M. Robinson jewelry store in Greater Manchester. Dressed in black and concealing their identities with balaclavas, they forced their way into the store, making off with watches valued at £186,820. The footage shows one of the robbers overpowering a security guard, while another neutralizes a smoke security system in the entrance during the heist. Smoke, intended to disorient and deter thieves, filled the premises from another room, but the robbers quickly evacuated the shop. They employed a pole to prevent the security shutters from closing and used tools to break into gas cabinets, stealing a total of 13 watches. The group made their getaway in a black Land Rover, which was discovered abandoned close by, before switching to a white Mercedes for their escape. 3 individuals targeted a Gucci store in the meatpacking district of Manhattan. Security footage captured the chaotic event at the 14th Street location, showing one person wielding a weapon while another quickly snatched items, including a set of Gucci luggage. A woman also believed to be part of the group was spotted outside the store, seemingly armed, just before the trio fled the scene. The brazenness of the daylight robbery shocked onlookers.
Came in to spend the day, the kids are off from school today. It's a nice family day, and that's like the last thing I would expect.
It's very daring at the middle of the day for somebody to rob a very high-end store at a point and put all the poor people there at risk. Terrible.
Many customers, who had anticipated a relaxed shopping experience with their families, were taken aback by the abrupt and daring criminal act. The police are now calling on the public for any leads to track down those responsible for the robbery at this luxury retailer. A team of masked individuals orchestrated a heist on a bank machine, efficiently setting up explosives to access the cash without damaging it. They skillfully employed steel cables in their operation and concluded the theft in a mere 2 minutes and 25 seconds. According to law enforcement, the culprits utilized solid explosives, akin to the powder used in fireworks shows. Authorities have apprehended 7 suspects linked to this crime, hailing from Italy, Holland, and Colombia. A man entered a store, wandering around as though he intended to make a purchase. However, his actions took a sudden turn when he jumped onto the counter and attempted to pry open the cash register with his hands. The clerk tried to intervene, but the man persisted in his efforts. In a bold move, the clerk grabbed a bat and struck the would-be thief, sending him fleeing for safety. The clerk's courageous act deserves commendation. A man nonchalantly left a store carrying 2 packs of beer without paying. However, loss prevention officers were quick to follow him outside and detained him until the police arrived and handcuffed him. It appears that the theft of the 2 packs of beer was not worth the trouble for him in the end. Neil Gordon, a 41-year-old former soldier, attempted to rob Craven Street stores in Melton Mowbray, Leicestershire. Armed with an axe, he entered the store, jumped over the counter, and cornered 65-year-old cashier Sue Thomas behind the till. When 68-year-old shop owner Ann Sage intervened, Gordon seized her by the arm and threatened her. He then emptied the cash register and fled the scene. Neil Gordon is facing jail now for his actions. While on duty, a clerk spotted a man behaving suspiciously and caught him shoplifting. Reacting swiftly, the clerk chased after the thief, managed to kick him, and successfully recovered the stolen item. Rudy Batten, age 22, walked into a McDonald's, approached the manager, and pointed an imitation weapon at him, demanding access to the safe. Batten made off with a red tin containing 250 pounds in notes, 2 float bags each with 100 pounds, and a bag of coins. In an unexpected twist, Batten then demanded chicken nuggets, but due to the time, McDonald's was only serving its breakfast menu, so he settled for a double sausage McMuffin instead. Batten surrendered to the police just before 3 p.m. the same day, by which point he had already been identified through CCTV footage. He was later sentenced to 6 years in prison by Bristol Crown Court for the ill-fated robbery. A search at his home recovered the imitation weapon and some coins, but the sausage McMuffin was nowhere to be found. Kane Wannell, 19, from Rogerstone near Newport, attempted a robbery dressed dramatically in a smart suit and balaclava, wielding an imitation weapon concealed in a plastic bag. Upon entering the post office, announcing an armed robbery and brandishing the weapon, both customers and staff burst into laughter, mistaking his serious attempt for a joke. When Wannell tried to intimidate the clerk, the tables turned as he found himself threatened instead, prompting him to flee. The situation undoubtedly was a blow to Wannell's ego, as his attempt at a serious crime was taken lightly by everyone present. A CCTV clip from the Ferndown Forest Golf Club in England captured 2 bold thieves trying to steal 2 putters from the pro shop, quickly becoming a viral sensation. These clumsy criminals casually walked in and, with unbelievable nerve, shoved 2 Scotty Cameron putters, each worth 425 pounds, down their trousers right under the watchful eye of the security camera. With shop staff distracted by another customer near the entrance, the duo nonchalantly walked out, jumped into their white Ford van, and made a hasty retreat. Little did they know, their actions were thoroughly documented, and the shop had all their details. Their attempt at anonymity was short-lived. Someone noted their van's license plate as they fled. Thanks to the footage and quick reporting, local police were able to track them down swiftly. The stolen putters were recovered and returned to the golf club, ensuring the bungling burglars' plan fell apart at the seams. In the early hours, around 3 a.m., 3 men in their mid-20s, armed and dangerous, burst into a taco truck in Los Angeles. They menacingly forced 2 employees of the truck to kneel, proceeding to rob them of their phones and cash on hand. Disturbingly, one assailant, clad in a black sweater, resorted to violence, hitting a worker with a weapon on the side of his head, an attack so severe it necessitated stitches. The trio made an attempt to breach a safe within the truck, but were unsuccessful. Following their failed attempt to crack open the safe, they took off with what they had already stolen. The police are now actively on the lookout for these 3 individuals, seeking to bring them to justice for their actions. Dressed in women's attire, a man walked into a service station and then suddenly drew a fake weapon from a bag, demanding the cashier to hand over the cash from the register. Despite the presence of other customers during this alarming situation, thankfully, no injuries were reported. The robber successfully fled with the cash. Victoria police are currently investigating, suspecting this individual of committing similar robberies at various service stations. In Alfreton, Derbyshire, around 10:30 p.m., a daring robbery unfolded at a restaurant when an assailant climbed through the drive-through window, wielding a knife. Clothed entirely in red and white, the intruder proceeded to the back office, where he threatened the staff and demanded access to the safe, searching it for money. Derbyshire police have made public a 2-minute video clip of the incident, hoping it will help in apprehending the suspect. On the evening of October 30th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, police were called to the Freshworks restaurant following a report of an armed robbery. According to a staff member, a man wielding a knife demanded money from the cash register. Upon learning there was no cash available, the robber took a tip jar from the counter that had only $12 in it and fled the scene. His haste suggested he might have been planning to commit more thefts elsewhere. The police are currently searching for this individual, who is believed to be responsible for 2 armed robberies. While attempting to shoplift, a woman's suspicious behavior caught the attention of the store owner. As he attempted to confront her, she responded by striking him, leading to an altercation where the owner also retaliated. Onlookers stepped in to break up the fight, allowing the woman to escape. The situation underscores the disturbing reality of individuals resorting to violence when caught shoplifting. A man attempting to steal beer from a store was thwarted when store associates activated a nuisance alert button to call security. Upon realizing he had been caught, he abandoned the beer packs at the front door and fled the scene.
Perfect. All right, yeah, we'll keep an eye right now. Thank you. Oh, hey, buddy, leave us behind. Where are you going? PD's being contacted right now.
Opting to run rather than face the consequences for theft was a quick decision on his part, acknowledging that getting caught could have led to serious trouble. 2 girls attempted to leave a store with carts full of items without paying. When the clerk intervened to reclaim the merchandise, he successfully retrieved a cart from one of the girls. However, she brazenly returned, determined to assert her right to the stolen goods. While one of the girls managed to escape with a significant amount of merchandise, the clerk was able to prevent the other from leaving with the stolen items. This employee's decisive action in thwarting at least part of the theft certainly merits recognition and possibly a raise for his commitment to his role. In 2018, the Casa Rosa kebab shop on Durham Road in Gateshead fell victim to a robbery by an assailant wielding a knife and donning a skull mask. He intimidated the staff and fled with approximately 200 pounds. An urgent search commenced to find the culprit, but he daringly struck again 3 days later. This time, he was recorded on CCTV making a dramatic entrance onto a Jet Garage forecourt on Durham Road, still wearing the distinctive skull mask. He attempted to rob a customer at knife point, but the intended victim managed to escape by driving away. Undeterred, the robber returned to the Casa Rosa kebab shop, his previous target, and this time absconded with around 800 pounds. Fortunately, no staff or customers were harmed during these incidents. Swift investigative work led to the identification of Mark McCormack as the suspect. He was promptly arrested and has since been convicted of 2 counts of robbery and 1 count of attempted robbery, now facing a considerable prison sentence. A group of robbers orchestrated a series of daring heists, blowing up cash machines across various locations in the UK, including Merseyside, Cheshire, Gloucestershire, Thames Valley, and Scotland, from which they stole substantial amounts of money. The Liverpool-based gang ingeniously concealed their getaway vehicles inside an articulated lorry and utilized motorhomes and lorries to haul away the ATMs after cutting through doors and shutters. The operations were spearheaded by Andrew White, 28, who astonishingly managed some of the raids from prison, where he was on remand. Their spree came to an unexpected end when they decided to stop for breakfast at a McDonald's. There, an off-duty officer recognized them and called in their van. The case was brought to trial at Liverpool Crown Court, which lasted 12 weeks, with the gang members now awaiting sentencing. Imagine a thief planning to break into a store during the off hours, typically expecting the doors to be securely locked. But what happens when the door isn't locked and it's just a misconception? This might be a puzzling scenario, but it seems one individual learned the hard way that appearances can be deceiving. In the footage, the would-be burglar is seen preparing to smash the door with a trash can, only to discover, embarrassingly late, that the door was unlocked all along. Adding insult to injury, the security cameras captured a clear view of his face, significantly increasing the likelihood of his apprehension. Now, he faces potential charges for breaking and entering, along with the unnecessary cost of repairing a door he mistakenly thought he needed to break through. A homeless man entered a liquor store, clearly intending to steal. He confidently walked directly to the liquor section, selected his favorite drink, and walked out without paying. Remarkably, he managed to go completely unnoticed throughout the act, displaying a bold level of confidence in committing such a deed. Late at night, a man targeted the Thornaby Sports and Leisure Club near Stockton-on-Tees, boldly helping himself to a pint before proceeding to steal cash, charity boxes, and bottles of alcohol. Caught on CCTV, the thief was seen casually strolling behind the bar to pour himself a drink, then proceeding to rob the club of its cash and charity donations. Currently, the man remains at large, with the police actively seeking leads to capture this audacious thief. Ever seen those 7-Eleven heists where the bad guys pull off their stunt and vanish into the night thinking they're home free? Well, not this time. In Carson, around 1:30 a.m., 3 would-be robbers thought they had it all figured out. Picture this: 3 of them barging in from the front and 1 sneaking in through the side door, ready to jump the counter and raid the cash register. But hold up, here's the twist. Less than 30 seconds later, a savvy deputy backs into a parking spot outside, spots the ongoing robbery, and knows it's time to spring into action. Out comes the deputy's weapon and he calls for backup. Before the crooks even realize what hit them, backup arrives, and the deputies swoop in to cuff the whole crew.
He's coming fast, take it for me, my head. Then another ladies take a knife for me. He's open register. So I'm say, okay sir, I open the register, you take a money. Please, we cannot hit me, we cannot kill me, please. Then I know, okay, because I'm Lara scared, I'm Lara scared.
Isn't it satisfying to see these creeps get caught in the act? While engaged in conversation at a counter, a woman deftly opened a drawer and swiftly snatched something from it, demonstrating remarkable efficiency and speed.
Essa pimentinha é nova, Solzão? Hã? Pimentinha nova? Nova. Eu quero. Pode pôr pra mim. Pode pôr uns 3, 4 reais. Tá bom? Bela. Tá?
Her actions went unnoticed, suggesting she possesses the skill of a professional as if she had executed such maneuvers countless times before. On December 5, 2017, a burglary attempt unfolded at the Aldi store in Cockermouth, where a group of burglars employed a stolen tractor to break through the store's wall. Their objective was to attach a strap to the cash machine inside and haul it away. However, their plan was unsuccessful, and while they didn't manage to steal the cash machine, they caused significant damage to the store. This incident was part of a larger scheme by the gang to target ATMs across Cumbria. After an extensive 18-month investigation by the Cumbria Constabulary's Serious and Organized Crime Unit, 8 men from the county were apprehended and subsequently sentenced to a combined total of nearly 40 years in prison. On January 2nd, at Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok, Thailand, 57-year-old Patrick Collier was captured on CCTV taking a high-end Rimowa suitcase off the luggage carousel. The suitcase belonged to Kai Ze, a traveler from China. Unfortunately for Patrick, he was unable to make a successful getaway with the stolen luggage and was apprehended by the authorities.
เดินมาแล้วก็เดินเสิร์ชหากระเป๋าโดยเฉพาะตั้งแต่สายพาน22 21มาแล้วก็หยิบกระเป๋าเข้าไปเลยแล้วก็ออกชั้น2ขึ้นชั้น3ออกชั้น4ชั้นชลาแสดงว่ามาบ่อยเดินโฟล์บ้านตัวเองเลยอันนี้สายพาน22เดินมาตั้งแต่สายพาน20เดินวนไปเรื่อยแล้วก็มาสะพาน22แล้วจะกลับไปสายพาน20แล้วก็ไปเอาที่สายพาน16ดูนะครับน่าจะมาหาของโดยเฉพาะเดินวนแล้วก็เดินกลับน่าจะเป็นมืออาชีพเลยมาประจำดูทรงแล้วอันนี้คือตอนเดินมาครับช่องตม.โซน C นะครับดูแล้วน่าจะมาบ่อยน่าจะอยู่ยาวเลยแล้วดูทรงแล้ว
Stealing someone's luggage is incredibly invasive and troubling, especially considering the distress and inconvenience it causes travelers who arrive in a foreign country only to find their belongings missing. Hold on to our final clip, which is the most scariest and most creepiest one, and if you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our creepiest videos. On April 11th, 2021, in New Haven, 50-year-old Robert Banks was apprehended by police during a larceny investigation at the Walmart located at 315 Foxen Boulevard. Officer Christian Carfora, observing via surveillance footage, witnessed Banks stealing clothing items worth $104.38. When Banks attempted to leave the store, Officer Carfora confronted him about the suspicious behavior. Banks then fled to his car, attempting to escape, but Officer Carfora quickly apprehended him before he could drive away.
I'm sorry. Get out of the car. I'm sorry. Get out of the car. I got t-shirts. I only got t-shirts. I only sell t-shirts. No. Give me the keys. I only sell t-shirts. I only sell t-shirts. What do you got there, bro? What do you got there? I only got t-shirts. I only got t-shirts. Down on the ground. Down on the ground. T-shirts, officer. Down on the ground. I only got t-shirts. Down on the ground. I only got t-shirts, officer. Down on the ground. Officer, I'm gonna behind you. Get your hands on your pockets. I only got t-shirts. Down on the ground. Put your hand on the ground.
After spending several hours in detention, Banks was released on a $2,500 bond. He faced charges including larceny in the 6th degree and interfering with an officer. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.